What is yoga? Yoga is a Sanskrit word meaning union. It is a self-discipline method integrating the body, breath and mind. Yoga essentially involves adopting different simple to complex methods of postures, that is asanas, and maintaining it for a set period of time. Controlled breathing. We have pranayama exercises. Voluntarily concentrating the thoughts. We have meditation or Raja Yoga. Repeated reciting of phrases called mantras. Yoga can be thus described as a comprising a rich treasure of physical as well as mental techniques which can be effectively used to create physical and mental well-being. Coming to the history of yoga. Yoga is a tradition of health and spirituality that has been evolved in the Indian peninsula over some 5000 years ago. It has emerged from the earliest Indian civilization, that is the Indus Valley. And this has been actually started by the Yoga Sutra. It's a philosophy of the text of philosophy of the yoga, which was around in the 200 BC and between the 200 BC and 300 AD. It was written by Patanjali, who was a Hindu philosopher. And it has been popularized, it has been entered into the Western kind of civilization. It has been entered to the Western countries by Swami Vivekananda, who popularized it in the Eastern Hindu philosophy in the late 19th century and the early 20th century. So that's why it was initially by Yoga Sutra by Patanjali. It was westernized or civilized into a Eastern Hindu philosophy. It was popularized by Swami Vivekananda. Coming to the purpose of yoga, to achieve the highest potential, to improve the quality of life, to experience the enduring happiness and health. Endurance can be permanent as well as lasting, to extend the healthy, productive years of life for beyond the accepted norms. The yogic system of health involves the exercises of all the types of muscles, skeletal, cardiac as well as smooth muscles. Actually, the main aim of yoga is to achieve the highest level of integration. Through the control of the modification of the mind. And any age can do this exercise. Any age, it can be old age, it can be young age. Any people of any walk of life, you can say, any people can do this type of exercise. And this is to actually yoga is a nature. The nature of yoga is actually a psycho-neurophysical. It includes psychological, neurological and physical activity. The expenditure of energy is very less in this particular exercise. The associated internal pressures like intrathoracic pressure, intra-abdominal pressure also forms the basis of the yoga exercise. Then all the yogic exercise, like we have different types of yoga, I'll come to that. It is complementary to each other. What are the requirements of yogic exercises? Always use an exercise mat. If you are not unable to do a particular exercise, you are having a kind of ill, you are not physically fit, you always have a yoga therapist with you. So if he can help you beginning in the first few days, you can follow that proper instructions. It is better to have in the fasting, okay, in empty stomach. Fasting means empty stomach, what does I mean? And the best time is daytime, the dawn time, okay. The day break time is the best time to do. Do not talk when you do yoga. It has to be done in the right attitude. You cannot just go and do something and come. It is spiritual, it's a meditation. Spiritually you have to do. So you have to concentrate very well. You should not be feeling any discomfort when you sit or when you do something. If you have any kind of abnormality or any difficulty in sitting, you should have a yoga therapist. You can ask him the doubts and clear that, and according to that you can do the type of exercise which can be done. Then it has to be in a peaceful area. I told you the dress should be very simple. You cannot wear jeans and you cannot do yoga. Okay, you should be wearing comfortable dress. Okay, so dress is very important. A mat is very important, and peaceful area in the right attitude you have to do. It has to be in an empty stomach. The best time is daytime, especially through the break time, dawn time. You can say dawn, DAWN. The yogi practice should be in the right attitude. You can have a yoga therapist initially, and when you learn the exercises properly, you can do it regularly. And 1 hour per day is a nice time, especially in the daytime. The exercise should be very smooth. You should not like doing some hard task. It should be very concentrated. You should not feel any difficulty. It should be in a spiritual way, meditation way, concentration has to be required. Okay, everything should be in a proper manner. The concentration is a very much thing. It's affecting the meditation that you are voluntarily doing, but it's not a task. Types of yogic exercises. Basically, the yogic exercises or yoga can be divided into 5 basic areas of practice. 5 areas. First one is asanas or body postures. Second one is breathing exercises or pranayamas. Third one is purification, cleansing, or you can say kriyas. Fourth one is music and sound therapy. The final one, fifth one is a deep relaxation. So there are 5 basic areas of yogic exercises. Experience after yoga practice. Yoga is not just a slow motion calisthenics. It's not just a freehand exercise in a rhythmic sequence. Anyone who practices yoga can feel the difference in their body. Like for example, the research or the studies tells that every day 1 hour of yoga per day, if you do for 6 months, you can increase the parasympathetic activity. You can improve the autonomic balance. Can be improve the thermoregulation efficiency. It can improve the cognitive function. Okay. Also, it helps in the therapeutic effectiveness. Like when you, for example, the diseases like such as diabetes mellitus, chronic backache, any GIT disturbances, coronary artery disease, all those things. Okay. For example, then mainly our COPD and the bronchial asthma. The COPD, bronchial asthma. Yoga is it is told to be yoga is much effective in bronchial asthma, because everyone, allopathy or means allopathy, homeopathy, ayurveda, everyone says that the effective part of the treatment for bronchial asthma, rather than calming the symptoms and taking inhalers or medications, yoga can be an effective part of the therapeutic effectiveness, therapeutic treatment. You can say not treatment, it's actually because I told it's a combination of different things, meditation, the voluntary concentration of thoughts, controlled breathing, all those. So controlled breathing comes in this. So pranayama exercises can be there for the bronchial asthma. So not when you feel difficulty in breathing. To avoid that, you can do daily yoga, 1 hour of yoga. As I told you, for 6 months, it has improved all these things. Studies have been researched that. So anyone who practices yoga can feel a sense of body, the mind and equilibrium. You feel a kind of energetic insight, heartedness. Also, it can be, as I told you, it can reduce or it can help in preventing many complications. It can even have effectiveness in diabetes mellitus, chronic backache, joint pain, all those things. It can be GIT disturbances, any kind of system, it can help. Like anything else, when yoga also have risk factors. Like if you have any sports, if you're doing any kind of exercise, there is a risk factor for everything. So even in yoga also we have risk factors. It can lead to stroke suddenly. There can be thromboembolic phenomenon due to initial tear resulting in stroke. Okay. One musculoskeletal injury. If you don't do properly anything, if you are physically unfit, because you need a physical trainer, you need a yoga trainer. If you have any problem in the health, if you have any kind of physical, you're unfit in the physically unfit, you have any musculoskeletal injury already, if you're having any problems, you have to take an assistance of a yoga teacher or yoga assistant. Can be initially, it can be there, then they can tell you or they can provide you a right instructions they can give you to follow the yoga techniques. It's not everyone can do the same thing. There are different types of yoga exercises, and depends on the individual, depends on their condition, their diseases. It depends on that also. Okay, so anyone cannot do anything. So it has to be in help with a yoga teacher. So as any other diseases, the risk factors of yoga, we have main commonly you can see musculoskeletal injuries. It can even lead to stroke, I told you. It can even lead to arrhythmia. Okay, tachycardia can be the tachyarrhythmias main what we can see as a part of yoga. Suddenly doing something and all without any proper instruction, it can lead to arrhythmias. There can be fluctuation in the hemodynamic parameters. Even it can lead to dehydration also. The health benefits of yoga. There are a lot of health benefits for yoga. The yoga actually works in a structural way. It helps to maintain the psychological factors. It helps to improve the psychological, the mind as well as the physical. So as I earlier told you, it's a psycho-neurophysical. It aims to be having a psycho-neurophysical. So it helps to improve all the systems. It have a good effect in central nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, cardiovascular system, respiratory system, gastrointestinal system, excretory system. any kind of system, reproductive system, everywhere it has a good effect of good health impact. So as I earlier told you, it is a group of exercise, 5 basic areas of practices there. So it can be helpful in almost all the systems. So it is actually basically an increased parasympathetic dominance and decreased sympathetic activity. So as a part of increased parasympathetic dominance, we have a decrease in the BP, we have decrease in the heart rate, decrease in the respiratory rate. It improves the gastrointestinal, it improves the digestion, improves excretory activity, improves the sexual activity. It helps to decrease the metabolism, improves the metabolism by decreasing the, by affecting the absorption. It improves the metabolism, it improves the absorption, it helps in absorbing the nutrients very nicely, easily, and helps in the motion, in a smooth gastrointestinal motility. It helps to improve the secretion of different catecholamines, decrease secretion of catecholamines. Even in EEG and EMG also it can have an effect. EMG related to musculoskeletal activity, increase in EMG can be seen. EEG, you can see the alpha, theta, delta, the beta waves can be have an increase in the waveform. When you take any system, it has an effect. For example, I can tell RS in respiratory system, decrease the respiratory rate. It has parasympathetic dominance, increases the tidal volume, increase the vital capacity, it increases the maximum breathing capacity. The respiratory efficiency can be increased. Okay, it affects parasympathetic dominance, so there is less sympathetic activity. The cardiovascular system, the BP decreases, the heart rate decreases. There is an increase in the baroreflex sensitivity. In CNS, as I told you, it also improves the emotional stability. The main part is emotional stability. The higher mental function can be affected. Higher mental function, as I earlier have done a video on higher mental function examination. It can improve the memory. It can improve the if you have any motor disturbances, sensory disturbances, it can improve that. Then you have the problem in recollecting, the reasoning, judgment, intelligence, all can be helped to have a slight improvement, or a kind of, at least you have a slight improvement. If you have, as I told you, if you have a diseases, it can lead to preventing the complications. So any system, there is a health benefit of yoga. Diabetes, endocrine, if you take diabetes mellitus, okay, and when you take reproductive system, you have the thyroxine level increases, the prolactin level increases, oxytocin level increases, decrease in the glucocorticoid level, decreased in the catecholamines. There is increased the urinary secretion, the urinary excretion of catecholamines are affected. So all those things it affecting as a part of yoga. So yoga is it begins in working the body in a structural way. It helps to improve the emotional, the physical stability. It improves the physical stability, improves the emotional stability. It improves the higher mental function. So emotion comes in higher mental function. So these are certain health benefits what you see in as a part of yogic exercise. Little energy is required. Expenditure is very less. The metabolism is smoothly done. The rate of metabolism is also, it becomes less in the sense it is helping to having a good metabolism. So these many factors are there. Higher maximum oxygen consumption is also as a part of you can see as a part of yoga, the oxygen consumption can also be affected. Yoga in health and disease. Just I told you about the benefits, health benefits of yoga. You can just integrate both of these actually. Yoga in health and disease, mainly what we see is the psychological stress and the healthy, the default in the lifestyle. Psychological stress as well as the default in the lifestyle. These are the main two factors in almost all the diseases. If it affects the sleep, if you affect the diet, if something affects your daily routine, that's what, sleep, appetite, your diet. So these are the main things what can change everything. So lifestyle modification is the main factor you have to improve your health. So one is yoga. Yoga, as I told you, there is a voluntary concentration of thoughts. Meditation is there. Breathing exercise is there. You can control your breathing. Voluntarily you control. You can reduce your stress. You can reduce your kind of short tempered. All those things can be done as a part of yoga. So diseases like diabetes mellitus, coronary artery disease, hypertension, obesity, these all can be mainly controlled by yoga also. So obesity, you have to control your BMI. So there should be yoga along with lifestyle modification, not just doing yoga and having any kind of food. So lifestyle modification is one of the main thing. Reducing the level of stress can be done by yoga. You can follow yoga to have a reduced level of stress. So the cortisol can be controlled. Secretion of cortisol can be controlled. Obesity, maintain a BMI, a normal BMI. You can see the Kotlet index, weight in kilogram divided by height in meter square can be calculated, and according to that, you can understand whether you are underweight or a normal weight or obese or overweight. Okay, overweight or obese. So in that way you can be calculating the Kotlet index by seeing the weight and the height. Depends on the height, you can have to control the weight. So it has to be balanced. So this is associated everything. So yogic exercises and lifestyle modification can be done to improve the health. So diabetes mellitus, yoga can reduce the FBS level, the fasting blood sugar level. The HbA1c can be reduced as a part of yoga. Daily you're doing 1 hour of yoga. If you do for 6 months and just check the blood sugar level, it will be improved. Definitely it will be improved. So then when you take hypertension, there is increased barrel reflex sensitivity. This can increase that yoga can decrease the blood pressure, decrease the heart rate, can decrease the cardiac output. Okay. So these can be done. I am saying about the hypertension as a part of hypertension, not like when you do have a BP normally 110/70, suddenly you are doing yoga, it come again down. Not like that I am saying. As a part of hypertension, it can improve increase the barrel reflex sensitivity, and it can improve your parameters, blood parameters. It can improve hemodynamic parameters. There can be the TC, the total leukocyte count can be improved. The hemoglobin can be controlled. So these many hemodynamic parameters also as a benefit of yoga. When you take coronary artery disease, there is a risk of heart attack can be reduced. Even risk of going to stroke can be reduced. CNS and CVS, when you take coronary artery disease and stroke, both of them can be controlled when you do yoga. Especially personally, I felt, especially an example is bronchial asthma. Bronchial asthma, many of them, almost all the doctors in every field, allopathy or homeopathy, Ayurveda, is talking about yoga. For them not to having symptoms and then doing yoga. To control or prevent having symptoms, those who are asthmatic can do yoga regularly. They can do breathing exercises. They can have a health benefit in bronchial asthmatic patient. It doesn't go. Bronchial asthma, once it comes, it's not like it cannot be treated completely. So not to have symptoms like that, you can follow. You should have a strong lung capacity, because as I told you, yoga can improve the vital capacity. It can increase the tidal volume. It can increase the maximum breathing capacity. All those things can be increased. Respiratory efficiency can be very well. The cardiorespiratory efficiency should be better. If it is improved by yoga, then it is a typical thing you can do.